I messed up the last video, and so I just decided to go live. The wind died down a little bit, so it won't be too hard on the microphone here. So here we are with a T444E 1996, very similar to the 7.3 Power Stroke. International made this motor and made this motor and sold it to Ford, and Ford rebranded it as the Power Stroke and changed some things on it. Some folks will tell you they messed it up, but a lot of the parts are the same, especially within the same years that they built the thing the way they did. Check here. I told Becca to check in and see if we're doing everything right. Are we doing everything right? Can you tell? Yeah. Are there anybody on there? No. All right. Nobody's on here, but I'll just put it up and whatever. Anyway, here's what's going on. I'm going to try my best to do a very better job holding the camera, but I can't see what you're seeing. So here's the situation. Here's the lay of the land. Here's the place. Here's my cross member that holds the tree while it's rolling down the road. Here's the road. Get some perspective on that. Here is the road. And here's what's going on. And I'm going to hold the camera up and down because I can't see what you're seeing. And I want to get everything in the shot. Here's underneath the motor. Really good job. I can't work here. That's what it looks like to take a oil tank to these. That's what it looks like when you got to fight the coolant filter to get it off. This is an engine frame that I'm going to clean up and paint, and it's going to go on better than it looks. And there we have it. The number 4 cylinder has decided to discontinue functioning. I think what happened was there was a broken piece in the so it made the spring behave whether it overturned up. You can't hear me? Is that what they're saying? Oh, sorry guys. Hey, I'm just going to show you the situation. Here it is. That's all piston skirt. I don't know what. If you're watching this, what is this? I guess I'll find out soon enough. Look at this. I would reckon that this is a retention clip for the wrist pin, but I don't know. I'm making all this up. I've never taken a valve cover off. Never taken a valve cover off. This is a valve cover. This holds the dipstick. Little JD weld on it. And here's the piston. We showed that in the last video, but here's the piston. This is piston cylinder number 4. Coming out because Becca says you can't hear me. That's cylinder number 4, so I'm going to take that and a couple of bent push rods in the back behind it and put it up on a placard. And I'm going to name. I've never named my bus. I'm going to name it Old Number 4, and it's going to look like a skull and crossbones when I'm done. But you know, cross that bridge when we get back moving. What do you think I'm going to do? Here I am, limited budget. I've got a street bike that's worth a couple of bucks over here that's probably going to have to go. It's under the curtain. Who we at? The real Jeffrey of Sky. Good thing it did not go through the block. Amen. Amen. So here we are. I've got broken panels. My solar panels on the side of my bus flew up earlier this year.
and shattered. So I just put some shipping tape on them, and so I've got it dropped 40% in its ability to produce power, and I still got some on the roof that I'm going to change all this stuff soon. But look at this, floating 96%. $19 battery reader gauge off of Amazon, by the way. For those of you that are thinking about buying the Victron one, you should probably buy the Victron one anyway. I shouldn't say that. Anyway, so here we are. You got your doghouse here. And maybe you're watching this just for the entertainment value of it all, but maybe you're also watching this because you typed in T444E broke down and you've got a T44E. I'll just tell you a little 444E. I'll just tell you a little bit about the motor that you bought. If it was between, mine's a 96. If it was, I prefer video live feeds or something hard to. Sorry if you're having trouble. Yeah, sorry, Russell. Or gives and go. I don't know what that means. But if you have T444E, what that means is it's a motor that was developed in the mid 90s, anywhere from like 95 to 2003 ish. And E denotes that it's electronic because these diesel motors used to just be all mechanical, whether it's a Cummins, a Catapult, a International, whatever. They were all mechanical until the EPA came down on them and said, "Hey, man, stop blowing so much smoke." And so they went ahead and put some electronics on them. And since I put more on, I'm in Provo. I can help with something. Thanks, Larry. Navstar 7.3. Yes, sir. And so mine's got the first iteration of electronics on it. They've since put more on it. And if you're watching this and you got a T444E, get yourself a scan gauge D. And with this, it's going to monitor all of the gauges, or I'm sorry, all of the sensors on it. And it'll become the gauges. Don, I hope you get the bus sorted soon. You help so many people. Thank you. Metal Mike, hope you get it fixed, man. Hate to see you on the side of the road. It's good, man. I'll tell you what. Look at the as far as being on the side of the road, it's kind of like wherever you go, there you are. And so we got the Edwards family that are farmers up the way, and they check in once in a while to see if we need anything. And there's a cattle rancher down here. His name's Melvin. He's probably in his late 70s, and we're talking to him. I met the police in Beaver finally, all three of them, and so they've got my back. And I just told them I don't think I'm doing anything different than a shop would do, and they kind of looked at it and said, "Yeah, you're probably right." So anyway, Steve extractor. Maybe someone local here has one. Sleeve extractor. I was thinking about making one of those just with a threaded rod. Here's the deal with that. This is a dry sleeve, and the book recommends that it's got to be out of the frame to have it pushed in by a machine shop. But the book also, I'm spending a lot of time in the manual, the RTFM. I'm doing a lot of the RTFM, and it really is helpful. And it's saying you got to take it to a machine shop, have one of those gate. Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, they're very helpful. The thing with this scan gauge D, and I'll go back to the other thing. This is it'll monitor all your sensors, and you can pick whatever four you want on this one, and have them on display ongoing if you want to see your turbo boost and your mileage and things like that. But what was I talking about before that? You remember what I was talking about before that, Becca? What? I can't remember. I was talking about iterations of T44Es. So the sleeve is about. Oh, we're talking about sleeves. Yeah, man. So they say that you're not supposed to do an in-frame sleeve swap, but they also say you can't take the oil pan out without taking the motor out, and the oil pan's over there. So I was thinking about just getting a threaded. I'm buying a lot of tools because this is so specific, and I want to kind of keep a hold of that because I wasn't really prepared for this. I think these new vehicles with a metal belt drive is a bad idea. What's wrong with an ordinary transmission? Hey, man, what I have to say about that comment, I've never even taken a valve cover off before this, so I would have to know more about it. But yeah, metal belt drive. I got to tell you, the drive on my Harley is rubber, and it's been fine. This is my second Harley, and they hold up fine, but I don't know the statistics. I can tell you that the B50 on the T444E is 350,000 miles, and the B10 on it is 200,000 miles. And if you're watching this and you're going, man, what kind of motor should I get? First of all, don't take the advice of anybody that doesn't know motors very well, and do your own diligence. Like, you're going to see a lot of people on here that are throwing videos up with their phone. Probably vet that. That said, the B50 on the DT466E is 550,000 miles. So that ought to tell you something. All the rubber on these things is going to give out at the same time. O-rings in the fuel injectors and little O-rings in the H-pop wire line, the high pressure oil lines, they're going to give out. Uh, Turbo hoses can only last so long. They're rubber. What's the other thing? What's that called? Radiator hoses. They're only going to last for so long. It doesn't matter what motor you have, but they do design uh, different motors to have a longer wear than others. I think they say that the metal belt will break at about 80,000 miles. Well, this has got a B50 of 350,000 miles, so I don't know. But and for those of you guys that don't know, I'm saying B50 and B10 and all that stuff. You're like, is that a motor? What are you talking about? It's what they rate these motors at. So, for instance, let's use the example that there's a medication that's got to be approved for use, and what they do is they take 100 mice and they give them that medicine until 50 of them die. That's, they just keep upping the dose until 50 out of the 100 die at one go. And they call that the LD50, which means legal dose 50. And so that's the benchmark for how much it takes for half of them to die. So they have the same thing for motors. And instead of calling it the LD lethal dose 50, they call it the B50. And I don't know what the B stands for. Let's call it the breakdown 50, or the you're going to be on a bicycle at this number. And so they all categorize them, and I don't care if you're buying a diesel or a gas motor, 50 on all of them, just because what happens in the future, like now being the future, is they just try to get smarter and smarter with these motors, but they get a little too cute sometimes, and they're going to try to say, oh, we can squeak you out 3 more miles per gallon, but the equipment that we're going to put on to do that is going to compromise your overall longevity. And so I guess that's a rabbit hole that we could cover another time. But if I were buying anything, I would look at the B50 on it. And it's probably going to be based on fewer moving parts. Endeavor, Nomad, been a minute, 2, still working on the transition. Oh, it went away. I've never really done live streams like this on my phone, and I can see your comments, but anyway, I hope the audio is okay, and I really don't have much more to say, so I'm not going to keep you. But we're out here. It's about mid-October, and I just got the oil pan down, the number 4 cylinder, the skirt failed on the piston for whatever it was caused by, if it was the injector or whatever. And so now we're digging out all the debris from the oil pan. Just to recap, here's that. What the hell is this? And then there's 2 of them. I'm getting an education, and I really appreciate it. So hopefully I'm passing something along to you guys. If no other thing that I'm passing along, sorry, I don't know how to hold this thing. I hope I'm passing along something to you guys. If nothing else, just have a good attitude and read the manual on these if you have a problem. It's basically all math anyway. They give you tolerances and best practices and protocols, and we just follow them. And the bent rod could cause the broken piston. Yeah, but what caused the bent rod, Ringo Starr? By the way, Ringo Starr, go follow him on Instagram. He's got some really good posts. What happened to the corrosion additive isn't used. Eventually, the rear cylinder of the wall, driver's side. I'm gonna have to read you guys' comments after I close this out. But I probably, I always saw that the oil was topped off, and I thought that it was replaced in spec. But grab a piston and sleeve from. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. And I've got the Harley to not only fund the rebuilding of this motor when it all shakes out, but also to go fetch parts. I've been up to Salt Lake City twice. Richfield over here is 45 minutes away. Absolutely beautiful drive. And so whatever the case is, I've got to hone that cylinder out to see what my measurements are, to see what would be the appropriate piston. And then I'm going to check and see if I can build up enough pressure and keep everything out of there to be a problem. Like, I want it to be balanced, so I'm not going to try to roll with no piston in place. But look, man, call me the wandering fool that's going to try to fix a V8 7.3 diesel motor out in the middle of nowhere and, encourage me or sit back and laugh at me. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to report the results of it. In the meantime, I hope you guys are doing okay, and you got a winter plan, and you got some winter projects going for yourself where you can sit back with the wood stove on and a pot of chili going and some yacht rock in the background and enjoy your lives, man. That's what I'm doing. All right, folks. See you on the next round.